money. They stopped taking our
Stop taking our
our
time.
kind of
Yeah.
say, basically, right? Because at the end of the day,
Because
the
America
federal
has daddy dick. It's the best dick. You're not going to get any better. But if you keep
and it's
like
the money
putting
day.
contingent strictures on,
Mhm.
your trades and stuff, it's just like you're not accomplishing like what you needed to by
By
doing
doing
this
that,
thing.
basically, yeah. And so, and then to put like person to person perspective instead of making it more globalist and understanding of kind of thing, you see it as okay, for a trade deficit, I want my trade deficit with my grocery to go down. What you do is basically do this. You say, okay, instead of me going to the grocery store, I'm going to always go to a restaurant. So
China
you're
is the
paying more.
grocery store,
Yep.
but you're trying to turn the grocery store into a restaurant.
Basically, but instead of going to the grocery store anymore, the grocery store is just giving to the restaurant, and the restaurant has a trade deficit with the fucking country over there, or the you're going to the grocery store. The grocery store, it has a trade deficit with, but now you have a trade deficit with the restaurant. So you're inherently still giving the money to the grocery store in an indirect way, and you're paying more for it. That's what
It's
you're doing,
it's
right?
called it's called it's distancing you from your currency. It's distancing you from uh it's the same thing that fucking Fortnite does with V-Bucks, right? Same concept. It's just with a country instead.
Yeah, it's basically just a different form of dealing, right?
Yeah.
Basically. And you hear this guy speak about how the trade deficit went down and et cetera, and he just doesn't get it, right? And you're like, you can have anybody explain it to him in any way, he would not understand it. But it's not that pisses me off more than anything else.
All right.
It's the I'm going to lose money because, right? At the end of the day, that's what's happening. I'm losing money because of this fucking idiot. Even though he could literally do nothing and the economy would make me money. Right? We had a great economy. The GDP has shrunk 3% from this guy. Right? It was going to go up 2.5%. It was projected to do that. Now it's at negative 0.2, so it swung 2.7. Right?
So let me ask you
So
something. When you say this
how?
guy is responsible for the GDP falling, right? And
Mm-hmm.
who was the person or persons? What was the entity that told you the GDP was gonna rise?
It was the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the one
Okay,
that
Federal
controls
Reserve
all
is
the
a
state.
separate entity then.
Separate entity. Yeah, it's a separate entity. Right? The separate entity, it doesn't have financial, right? Especially in this
You're
kind of,
surprisingly informed about a lot of this stuff. I'm very impressed actually, because
right.
I
So
don't I wouldn't spend the time to do it, but I'm learning so much
no,
from
I
you.
mean that's totally fine, and that's okay. You're part of the majority that doesn't really care for this, and that's again totally fine. Money is extremely fucking boring. It just is, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of numbers and it's a lot of boring shit combined with more boring shit. But that's the idea. It doesn't want everyone really,
But it's
right?
weird how
But
it's like quantifiable social status, it's
mhm.
quantifiable power, and the people that are in power because of it are the ones that kind of control the way that it is manipulated.
It works exactly. So how do you get to the point where you can have a little bit of at least the community that you're around in some aspect? That's the goal, and you get a lot of people that just don't think that way.
Uh-huh.
And so you'll have people that are looking at me in particular, right, where I'm not speaking about dumb shit, right? I'm more or less saying, you know, I'm not going to talk about the fucking grass. I don't care, right? Like, there's people that talk about them mowing their, like, they're so proud of it. I'm like, that's dumb. That to me is like, I'll just pay someone to do it for me, right? And that's what I do,
Sure.
right? Why do I have money if I'm not going to use it that way?
All
It
right.
saves me time, saves me energy. Here's $100 a month. Mow my fucking lawn, right?
You got $100 a month for someone to mow your lawn? That's pretty hardcore.
It's a hundred biweekly, so about 200 a month. So, but and then again, maid, right? Another thing that can save me time and pay, and I can just pay for it. Yeah, come every week. Here's $50 each time you do it. I pay $200 a month, right? That's quantifiable, as you said. I can then project how much money I'm going to spend, how much money I can gain from the market, and will that one cover it? Two, will I have more? And three, will I be able to pay the tax of it? Those are the three questions, right? If I have to ask those questions, and if one of them says no, I can't do it. That's how money fucking works. And that's kind of also another issue, right? Is that we should definitely be teaching at least some form of monetary responsibility. Because currently, right, my government in particular has a debt addiction.
Listen,
They love it.
I'm gonna go ahead and be the first person to say I'm not proud of it, but I could have used a little bit more guidance with how money works and just how to use it better. I think everybody
That's
in my family can
totally
probably agree with that. Unfortunately.
at least you understand. At least you kind of understand that it's okay to you know, point at it, right? Trust me, I've had my ups and downs too. It's not smooth, you know.
I've also been on this planet longer than you, and I've been working a full-time job longer than you. So,
Well, I mean, it's also I have different, you know, I have different things than you do, right?
yeah, that's true.
You like to do musical things. There is nothing wrong with that. Fuck yeah, go for it, man.
Uh,
Right? You know, fighting. That's awesome. Right? I don't do that anymore. Right? I got
yeah.
plenty of time to go invest in time on that. Right? I can invest my time with that. Right? Because one day I do want to be a millionaire, just like start. Fuck yeah. Absolutely. That'd be rock core as you right. But my millionaire is a different right. I'm going to be I'm going to use the market to make me my $1,000,000. Right.
That's fair.
I'm
But
not
when
gonna be working every day, you know.
sure.
But yeah, that's the main reason why I have to stay focused now on this shit is because I have money in the game, right? I got skin in the game. So, yeah, the president doing dumb shit really be pissing me the fuck off. Like he could just stop doing anything and I'd make money.
I think
You
having
know,
music in the background play here. I like this. Right. But yeah, no, I'm totally of the same uh caliber. It usually sounds from the game. You're not gonna get
yeah, and then once Israel fucking attacked Iran, my mother, Iran, my fucking portfolio went down 5%. I said I'm gonna fucking kill the bitch myself. Right? I will go to Israel myself, smack that motherfucker. I do not care. Like, that motherfucker.
damn it, Israel.
Netanyahu, you had one fucking job, buddy.
country's fucked, this world is fucked. Basically, the only way to win the game, if you're playing the game of money or you're playing the game of power, become a politician. So, then ask yourself this. How does one even go about starting a political career? And it seems like you're very interested in this kind of stuff, so I think that maybe that would be a good thing for you.
Well, I agree. The thing is, right, about getting into a politician, I'm on the court of kind of not a politician. I'd rather be a lot.
You'd rather be a
In the
lobbyist.
system that, right, in the system that we've created, why would I want to be a politician when I could just pay a motherfucker to get what I want? Right. That's what system we have. You know, why change the system when I could just follow the system that they have?
Okay, follow the system they had. What do you have to do? Identify the win condition to become a lobbyist.
Well, money.
Oh, okay.
Welcome.
So you had to have money.
It's that simple. It's just that simple. Yeah. I mean, if you can pay a person with the tax system that we have, right? So think of it like this. How do billionaires get taxed?
I have no idea.
They fucking don't. They don't pay any taxes. Now the question is, why? Because we have a debt-based society. A debt-based society inherently is built around growth. Okay? More growth, more better equals more money. Okay? So if
So you just
we
needed to
keep-
change society so that it would be better and different.
Not entirely true, because debt is just money, right? The dollars that you have in your bank account currently is debt. It's just debt. It's just a number, right?
Yeah.
The paper that is printed is debt. It's just a number, right? It doesn't matter, right? In the grand scheme of things, the banks don't fucking care about the cash, right? They would rather take your money from the savings account that you have and then give it to someone and say, hey, they owe me 25% interest every month. They're going to make money on the difference from what they're going to give them, right? Let's say you give them $1,000, the bank. The bank says, okay, we'll hold on to this and give you 2%. That's fucking generous now, but let's just say it's 2%. We give you 2% interest. They take that $1,000 to then go give it to someone else that will pay them 26% interest on that $1,000. So they're making 24% interest on the gap between your savings account and that person that's going to spend the money and give them the money back, right? So that's how a bank usually functions, at least a commercial style bank, right? There's difference.
Yeah. What happens is they have the money, you give them the money, right? And then they use that money and they invest it. They make money off of the money that you gave them. And then, then they pay the difference from a...
When you want to pull it out.
They pay the difference from... I don't remember what it's called. It's like a...
Fractional bank
It's
reserve.
a
That's what you're
giant...
talking
Just like we're playing poker, there's a pot, right? There's a giant reserve, right? Yeah, you call it a reserve. There's a reserve that they pull from, but they make money on the reserve. So let's say I have $100 million in the reserve. I invest that $100 million, or maybe 80 million of those dollars, into a profitable way, or whatever, and then I make money on the 80 million. I maybe have to pay out 90 million in, expenses, but I made 180 million off of that 80 million or something. So I paid out 90 million or something. Like, it's just like the difference will always be offset by just the sheer scale of their operation.
You have that right. The only thing that I will say to improve upon it is that they don't pay any taxes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because
What's
of
the number one way
ways.
you can save the bottom line? Don't pay taxes. So what do we have to do?
Yep.
Spend a couple $1 million that we would have spent in untaxed, or that we would have spent in taxed revenue, to lobby a person into office to maybe so that we don't have to pay taxes.
And also to put it in perspective of how fucking crazy it is of being a billionaire. So let's use Bill Gates for an example. Very well known name, got a lot of money. Obviously, he should be paying taxes. Got a lot, right?
If he paid taxes, it would disrupt his supply chain and all that stuff. But he's rich enough to where it wouldn't matter. It's just they don't want to have to do that.
Exactly.
But then we have someone like me who, you know, let's say I was working as a truck driver making $1,000 a week, right? I make $4,000 a month, and that's a good month for me, considering all of my hobbies. Like me paying taxes is much more detrimental to my lifestyle than it is that guy's. He's not, his quality of life, his basic necessities are always going to be taken care of. You have people in the world, maybe one of my neighbors, that is struggling just to feed their kids, you know? And the disparity is where the morality comes in. But people that have a large nest egg or asset, like, they're not worried about the singular person that might be struggling to eat. They're worried about fucking money that they have or that they will have in the future if they just don't have to pay a substantial fee for having too much money. You know, it's like you'll get charged from your bank for not having enough money in your bank account. Like you'll get a service fee for that.
Yes.
Why are they not getting a service fee for having too much of of controlling the disparity of wealth with the notion?
That's the thing. They do have fees, right? But those fees are, say it with me now, tax deductible. They get money fucking back for getting that fee, right? So the billionaires, however much money they got in there, will get a fee, right? That fee is then written off on their taxes. That then will be given to them by the United States government via the tax dollars of the poor.
What is
Let that sink in.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say this for the record. I hate this country. I am the absolute antithesis of a patriot. I think that we should like secede from America and like start our own country. We could call it like, I don't know, anything but America.
My thing is, right, with the United States, what's so appealing to me is of what the Constitution is, right? The Constitution is brilliant in every way, shape, or form. The only problem is you have to follow it with integrity, right? It's not really a legal document, right? What it is, it's just like, hey, I believe in God, I'll follow the Bible. That's your integrity believing in that, right? You have no legal binding to it, technically. The only legal binding that they have is through the courts and the Congress, right? Yes. That's the only way for the president or even a court, right, whatever, right, where they have to follow the Constitution, right? The Constitution is the rules of the road for our leaders, but
it's supposed to be.
Leaders, so exactly. Let's say the leaders just say, "Fuck it, I don't care about the rules of the road. I'm gonna drive in the left, not the right side of the road," right?
If you
Let's just say they
okay,
do that.
so you can do that just as long as there's no consequences, right? The reason why we drive on the right side of the road is because there would be consequences if we went on the left side of the road. But
Exactly.
if we could just like maybe hover above the left side of the road, then we can drive on the left side of the road all we want.
Exactly. Right. So since there's consequences of you driving on the left, then you don't drive on the left, you drive on the right. Right?
But when you have the
That's
means to be able to manipulate the game, that's
Mhm.
when you start really understanding that
Like,
life is literally it's a little more passionate, right? Being in it, right? Because people get in their feelings, but if you can play it like it's a game, then you've evolved, right? It's beyond My Sims, right? Because everybody else is in it and they're playing the actor character of it, where you are just being a chess master. You're just playing it like it's chess.
the the central figure that you're always bringing up is interesting to me because I don't see it that way. I see it as collect, right? What we should be doing is benefiting everyone, right? And yes, I'm selfish as I can, but at the end of the day, if I see a homeless person, I think that they shouldn't be homeless, right? I'm not gonna lie. They should have shelter in some form, right?
Okay.
They should be they should definitely have the ability to find a job, right? Because as a homeless person, they need to have a location as their right
Well, see,
for
in my experience,
tax reasons and all
sure.
that shit.
Well, it's a way for the government to know and know where you are, right? It
Basically, yeah.
puts you on the grid essentially. So
But if you don't have
one of the things that makes it difficult for someone to get employment about being homeless, other than just looking like you're homeless, and it's like you just won't fit in, right? It's like a social problem. Like you're so below social status that you're not. But like everybody needs a job, and it's like you start talking about it like this. It's like, well, if they didn't have a job before they went into your company, right, and they were homeless and they really needed the job, you're not going to give the person that's homeless the job because they're homeless. You're going to give the person that has a home and is a functional person.
I
But
I
they
can
needed the
understand where you're
job to be
coming
able to
from.
like have a home. Isn't that weird how that
It's
works?
well, that's something that you can legally prosecute the company for, right? Because that's
It's
discrimination,
discrimination.
right?
Yeah, no. I'm saying that
That's why
people do that.
laws exist, right? And
If
I
you
can
could,
totally, I know that that happens, right?
yeah.
It shouldn't. That's the thing. It shouldn't be happening. The only reason why it's happening right now, right? There should be a central figure in this government that will always prosecute any and all, uh, basically, that are like found allegations of a company doing right? They should always have something that has that ability, right? And it shouldn't be any charge for it, shouldn't be any fees. You're paying taxes, therefore get covered. It's like insurance, right? You would then fix the homeless problem so significantly and so fast that it's insane, right? And then also build build shelters that are owned by the state, right? They don't get any rent. They don't have any rent. Only thing that they get after a period of time, they have to have a job. There's requirements, right? You have to be having a job after a certain time. Once you have that job for, I'm not a bureaucrat. I'm not going to act like I know how long. Let's say it's 6 months. You have that job for 6 months. You then start getting utilities, right? You start getting bills to pay, right? And that's within the contract that you have with the home, right? You're covered for a year of, right, let's say. And then it's a cheap house. It's not perfect, it's not beautiful, it's not a penthouse or anything like that. It's a house, right? It's a shelter. And then after that year that's up, now you start paying rent towards the state. And guess what it is? It's just a tax. Now they're getting money every month.
This sounds like communism. And I'm a fan of the idea, especially being on the bottom rung of it and having been there for a while and also having been homeless for about 2 years.
So think of it like this. It's not communism, that's socialism, right?
Oh.
Because socialism is betterment of everybody, right? It's just everyone has a fair shake. Everyone should have the dignity to live, right? It shouldn't be a struggle for every single person in the richest country. It shouldn't be, right? This shouldn't be controversial in that aspect.
But it
right?
is, because the people who control the media are the ones that would benefit the most from people staying where they are, because we need people to serve us when we drive through Taco Bell. We need people to do the thing that it's basically impossible to get somebody to do that has any dignity, you know?
Yes,
Janitors.
I'm very proud of you, Don.
Huh?
That's great. I'm proud of you, man. That's
Why
great.
are you proud of me? This
really...
revelation sucks. This is the reality.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, right? Some people literally don't even, right? There's people that live their lives for 60 years and have not come to that conclusion, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, right? Like talking with Grandma, for example, she still believes in the good of our Congress people.
Oh, really?
You got me fucked up.
Listen, she's gonna die. You should let her, go
let
out.
her believe it.
Just
let her believe that, and that's fine.
Right? Let it happen.
Exactly. Right? I've never once talked bad about a congressperson in front.
No, let her be in that comfortable blissfulness.
Exactly. I'm not gonna ruin her. Let's be so fucking. She's living a delusional fucking, right? Like there's no that she's living perfectly fine, right? But no shot, right? If you believe that they're good people, they're worse.
Way. She'd say that to me, and my head would turn. I'd be like,
huh?
Oh, she's joking. No, yeah, that was a good one, Grandma.
Right? It was a good joke, Grandma. Good joke. You're not joking. Fuck. Okay.
Wow. No, this is serious for you.
Yeah. No, it's bad. It's like, so I'm like, no, they're bad people. Yeah. They're really bad people. In fact,
they're the worst people that exist. How do you not know this? Oh, we're joking. Yeah. No, this is reality. No,
it's at the end of the day. There is some good people that are within the Congress, right? It's a matter of the collective? Hell no.
But when you have the collective and you have the just baseline, what is going to benefit you in the short term and the long term, if you were to make your choices like this as a congressperson or whatever, it's like that would be what dictates your decision-making process, right?